What's up guys, this is Coach Peter. I'm going to be taking you guys through my personal conventional deadlift setup that I utilize for new athletes and myself. So one of the first few things that I want you guys to consider is going to be foot placement. Width is going to be totally relative. I'm generally, even when it comes to my squat, I'm fairly narrow in almost anything that I do. So considering that, this is roughly where I notice that I end up doing really well. Essentially the conventional deadlift is almost as if you're doing a standing leg press once everything is brought together. But like I said, feet come first. So as soon as you line up to that bar, you don't want to be too close here or too far around the toe. All of that, like I said, is going to be relative, so it's totally dependent. You're going to have to mess around with what's going on. But what I generally do is line up to right about underneath the knuckle of the toe. Well, right about the knuckle of the toe. So a little bit over mid-foot personally for me, and I notice this works really well across the board. So next, as soon as your feet are set up, you want to consider the hinge. A deadlift is not a squat. If anybody tells you to squat to the bar, you're doing it wrong. You're going to get, of course, a little bit of knee flexion. Your knee is going to bend a little bit, but do you need that much? No. Again though, this is relative. So find how much knee bend you can do to be able to effectively push through the ground, but also maintaining that hinge. So what I generally like to do from here, slight bend in the knee, I extend my arms, and I hinge into position. So from this point, all I'd really need to do is go down lower until I connect to the bar. So the cue I generally like to think of here, to hinge, I'm going to put my thumb on my oblique. I'm going to put my index finger, ring finger, middle finger, doesn't really matter, on my TFL. So basically, if you were to take that little bony ridge, you go down about 2 to 3 inches, that's going to be roughly your TFL area. You think about pinching those two together, and you'll be in a perfect hinge position. So from here, you've gotten into your perfect hinge position. I'm reaching down towards the bar, keeping my arms long. As soon as I notice that I make connection to the bar, I'm not having the bar sit really close into my hand here, gripping as hard as I can. I generally actually go right about that knuckle line and slightly below. Cool? So once you get that down and into position, I'm connecting to the bar. And what I've been teaching as of recently is, as soon as you connect, you want to think about pulling your torso away, but making sure your hands stay connected to that bar. And you'll notice from here that your feet get really heavy and start pushing into the ground. The only real thing we'd have to do at this point is bend that knee and then push. That's why I gave you the idea earlier of a standing leg press. From this point, all you'd have to do, I'm creating leverage, I'm pushing my feet into the ground. All I would have to do, bend the knees and continuously push and stand right up. So now, putting it all back together, feet are lined up to the bar where I'm comfortable with. From here, slight bend in the knee. Remember, thumb to that TFL, hinge, good position, arms stay long. Making connection to the bar, pulling my torso away, and all I'm going to do, bring the knees forward, push into the ground. Full conventional setup and execution. See you guys next time.